Of course, the issue of cooperative is very, very important. It has helped a lot of people, especially during festive period like this. So we'll look at how cooperative, its survival in the midst of rising rising cost of living. I'll also look at some of the challenges and the prospects in the year 2026 as well. We'll go into that conversation. After this break, my guest will join me on the show. Don't go away.
What if the truth had a frequency? A signal powered by real stories and trusted voices. Because the stories that shape us deserve to reach all of us.
That are meant to happen.
We examine the evolving political landscape in the country.
What has destroyed our democracy?
So their fiscal characteristics set them apart.
The program, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV.
There are men and women in the police who have worked for 35 years. I'm 37.
Trust TV tells the Nigerian story, truthfully, fearlessly, and beautifully. Culture, reality, connection. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Glad to have you back. It's the Business Daily right here on Trust Television. Now we go into our conversation for today. Of course, cooperatives are a crucial mechanism for members to survive and mitigate the effect of rising costs of living by leveraging collective purchasing power, providing access to affordable goods, services, and of course, offering financial support. Their continued survival depends on effective management, sound financial practices, and of course, an enabling environment, which is indeed key to the survival of every business. I'm now being joined in the studio by Emmanuel Atama, is the Executive Secretary, CEO, Cooperative Financing Agency of Nigeria. Glad to have you on Business Daily.
Thank you.
Compliment of the season.
Same to you.
All right. Cooperative is very, very important. Like I did a readout here. Let's say the survival depends on effective management and, of course, sound financial practices, and, of course, an enabling environment is needed. Talk to us as someone in that space. How effective have you been able, of course, to coordinate the various cooperatives, and how is the environment, conducive enough?
Thank you very much. The year under review, 2025, we started with our partnership with the World Bank. And when the World Bank released to us result of a survey on financial cooperatives in Nigeria, and we saw regulatory gaps. We also saw practice gap, and what we did immediately was to call a regulatory and compliance conference. And the World Bank themselves made presentation with respect to what they got at the survey, and then we also agreed on how to address those gaps. And our summit just ended in Benue State. That is the 9th CFAN Summit, which is the summit of financial cooperatives. And one important thing we did was that, having set up the Cooperative Development Fund, we also set up working groups that cut across several aspects of the fund management. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that with respect to issue of management of the cooperative, I can say this year alone, over 2,000 cooperative leaders across the country have been trained on good governance, and it is yielding result. Then in terms of sound financial practice, some of the gaps that were discovered by the World Bank were in respect of issues of use of technology, which they themselves were happy that for close to 10 years we have imbibed the use of technology in running our activity. That is the Unified Cooperative Platform, which is like a core banking software that give access to members to their cooperative and also help the cooperative operations to be run on a cloud-based operation. And then looking at it further, the issue of the informal sector cooperatives in terms of issues of certainty in their savings. How is this certain that their savings will come? How is this certain that their loans also will be repaid? And this year, we're able to launch the direct debit through the Aquila platform. And projecting into the next year, we are very optimistic that the informal sector will make good use of the direct debit, coupled with the software we have, to make sure that the financial best practices are sound enough and complied with. So, as a matter of fact, we achieved a lot this year with respect to looking at regulatory gaps, practice gaps, and also innovations that will make the cooperative sustainable in the light of current realities.
In terms of environment,
yes, the environment is very challenging. Very challenging in the sense that, one, the cost of living has gone very high. And you see that the cooperative largely, according to the World Bank report, depends on what she generates internally. And you see that it has not increased. The cost of living has gone up. That what we are giving to them ab initio as credit facility could no longer meet their needs. Such that when credit facilities are assembled, you discover that it almost triple what is coming in. And it is further compounded by what is happening at the government payroll. Most of the cooperatives that are in government establishments depend on what comes to them from the payroll, that is the IPPIS. And normally, when these people say, take so much from my salary and give to my cooperative, it's part of their salary. And we expected that when salaries are paid, the cooperative is also supposed to be paid. But you discover that it takes up to 2-3 weeks before the IPPIS will pay such cooperative. And looking at this year, you discover that the November payment was made mid-December. As a matter of fact, the December payment will be made towards the end of January. So it's always, it makes it very, very challenging. Challenging in the sense that cooperatives are of two sides. The establishment cooperatives that are in organized private sector and government, and then the community-based cooperative. While the establishments are on the demand side, the community-based are on the supply side. So you now discover that when the demand, the capacity to make demand is affected, those that are on the supply side also suffer. So it's very, very challenging to us. And we are appealing to government to make sure that when salaries are paid, let cooperative remittances be paid. It shouldn't be referred to as third party, because government and cooperatives are partners in progress. And the cooperatives are largely helping the government to calm the nerves. Because you discover that most of the salary earners did not get their salary before Christmas.
Absolutely.
Or how did
they have
they
to
celebrate
fall back
Christmas?
on cooperatives.
It's through cooperative, giving them what they need. So it is very, very challenging. But we are very hopeful that having identified it as a challenge, it is half solved. That by the year 2026, we'll follow up with those responsible to make sure that we correct this anomaly.
Indeed, very, very important in correcting all of this. But in terms of, especially with regards to the deduction, does it cut across, or is limited to some particular agency, maybe in the private or in the public sector?
It cuts across the agencies. Most of the government establishments are on IPPIS in terms of salary payment. So largely, I think about 80% of these cooperatives depend on what comes from there. Then the worst thing also is that the private sector have even keyed into that kind of style. So that we have to even intervene in some of these private establishments recently, that they pay salary and they don't remit the cooperative money, as if the cooperative has become an offense. For me, I think cooperative need to be encouraged, because it's a way of making people to save. And it's a way of putting people's destiny in their hands. Because as they abuse it doing that, you discover that the pressure on government for salary advance, for staff loan is reduced because the cooperative has taken over this responsibility. So it creates that norm within the service that you have to save through cooperative, you have to get soft loan through cooperative, and then create a sort of a norm within the service so that people get what they need through their own effort.
Indeed. But let's look at now. There's something you made mention that some government establishments are yet to pay even December salary. And of course, some members will have to rely on cooperative for them to celebrate the festive period. Talk to us. I mean, how does cooperative help members in this regard?
Yes. During December time like this, some persons, not just Christmas, even Salah, we have target savings. These savings are targeted towards celebration of Salah. It's also targeted towards celebration of Christmas. So what we do is that the month before the celebration, such funds are distributed to those who save the funds to enable them celebrate it. And then secondly, the cooperative on their own also purchase items like rice, like oil, some clothing, and give it to their members as a credit facility so that they will be able to celebrate the festive period happily. So that is how cooperative has been helping out and has been calming the nerves of people, even when salaries are not paid around this period.
But they complain that it does not improve bargaining power.
It does, in the sense that cooperative products are mostly gotten from the producer. So you discover that the cooperatives sell below market price. So has the cooperative not done the bargain for you? If you are allowed to go to the market, are you not going to buy at market rate? So for me, those who say it does not allow bargaining power, I don't actually know what they want, because the bargaining power has been taken over by the cooperative, who have procured this for you below market rate, and has also given it to you as a credit facility that you pay within a time frame.
Indeed. Talking about paying within a time frame, some are saying that by pooling resources, member gain stronger bargaining power in a way. Well, you have actually highlighted that because they're actually buying in bulk. Is it in a way, as an individual, when you go to purchase item and when you're going to buy a same item as a group, you tend to enjoy, a lower price, like you rightly explained. But what about the risk involved? Is there any way any risk involved can actually be mitigated?
I don't see risk in the sense that they are members of the cooperative. They have savings in the cooperative. So the cooperative give it to them because they have been saving in the cooperative. And most of these loans are given on cross guarantee, that a loan to one is a loan to all in that group. So the risk is often mitigated by that cross guarantee that is being done within the cooperative.
But in terms of deductions, because I have taken things from cooperative before, but when you're paying back, maybe you are given a 3 months time frame with which to pay back. But when you're paying back is actually more than what than what the price is. What are the advantage or the disadvantage of that?
Maybe you are not aware of maybe interest on it. You take a facility below market rate does not mean that if you are paying within a time frame, that is not instant payment, then you know that there is a cost of fund involved. And you know, as a cooperative person, that extra charges that you are made to pay still come back to you as dividend, because that is what they put together and pay back to you as dividend. So as a matter of fact, it's taken away from you, but it's giving back to you as dividend and much more. And that is why if you are servicing loan in a cooperative, it does not stop you from getting dividend. Even most cooperatives are even giving dividend more to those who take loan because they believe that they are the one that lay the golden egg.
Indeed. In that case, is there any way that it can be streamlined in a way that if, for example, you take an item and you want to pay at once, you take it through the cooperative, maybe as the, in the course of the, the year, or you're able to, okay, let me pay off the loan. Is there going to be a reduction for you in terms of the interest?
There is always a rebate.
Okay.
When you take a facility, say for 1 year, and then midway, you say, I want to pay off. That means you're not enjoying it to the full. So the issue is that those interests prorated for the remaining period is taken off. Then a small service charge is taken instead for the activities around it, like trying to stop it and so many other activities. But if you pay on time, the cooperative even prefer that you pay on time so that funds become much more available for others to take.
But in terms of success factor, how will you rate it?
It's doing very well as far as I'm concerned. And that is why today, like I said earlier, you see that when Christmas is coming, most people who are cooperative don't bother so much because they know that there is somewhere to run to. And that is why we emphasize good governance and good financial practice. And that is why we have also imbibed technology to make sure that there's transparency, there's accountability, and things work in tandem with modern way of doing things.
Indeed. But most of these things are actually in the urban centers. If you go to rural areas, you don't get some of this style like that you talk about. How do we extend it to our rural communities?
What you say, is that a product of research, or you just want to say it?
Well, they are more present.
Like I told you, we just
in the urban areas.
We just came out of our summit in Makurdi, Benue State. And one of the things we took there is the software and the direct debit and the cooperative development fund. So what we do here is that the communication is two ways. It goes down, it comes up. And you see, when people talk about rural area, some people think that everybody in the rural area is illiterate or the person does not have capacity. But I tell you that in most of these rural areas you see, there are universities, there are government establishments that are there, and they are the foot soldiers. They have cooperatives. And what we are even going into this new year is to strengthen local government staff cooperative, because we believe that if local government staff cooperatives are working very well, teachers staff cooperative, nurses staff cooperative, primary health care staff cooperatives are working very well, then we'll achieve the inclusive growth and development that is very much desired.
How about cooperative at the local government level? We've been talking about local government autonomy for a long time. If we have effective local government, functioning local government, don't you think we'll have, effective cooperatives at the local level as well?
That is what I have just said, that going into the new year, we intend to strengthen local government staff cooperative.
How can you achieve that when the local government is not autonomous?
Local government pays salary. Our point of call is the salary. And once
there are some local government that are still owing salaries as we speak.
But it will be paid.
Well,
so what we are saying,
how early is paid is very important.
Yes, but what we are saying is that cooperative operates with the limit of resources at their disposal. So, and most of the times when salaries are not paid, in most cases, these people run around cooperatives. And you discover that most of these people have one side business or the other that they do. Especially the government workers, they are allowed to do agriculture. So what we are saying is that by the time we strengthen the local government staff cooperatives, that means things will boom. Like I said earlier, we have the demand side, we have the supply side. So local government is strategic. And we have started taking steps with respect to realizing it. So I assure you that within the rural community, where you have universities, you have polytechnics, college of education, school of nurses, you have teachers, we want to work with this category of persons to achieve the inclusive growth and development.
Indeed, which is very, very important today, talking about inclusive growth and development. In terms of, innovation and adaptation is also very, very important. I know you're investing in technology, but how about adaptability, acceptance, especially in rural community? I'm more concerned about those people in that area because they don't have access to some of the things that we that are in the urban centers have access to.
You see, our rural communities may not have infrastructures like road, like maybe water and all those things. But I tell you that if you go into the rural community, you discover that this Android phone that we are carrying up and down is even very much there. And the technology that we have, members' side of it, accessibility is through this Android phone, so that they can see their cooperative the way they see their bank. We are also making effort to make sure that the USSD code is also put in place to make sure that those who don't have the Android phone can use USSD code to check their balance, book for loan, and so many other things that they want to do with the technology. So the rural community, they have this communication facility. Most of them have it. I don't say it 100%, but most of them have it. And I believe that the central bank, under the channels committee, has been very conscious of this. And the NCC has also been very much involved. The telcos are very much involved in it. So we see it that even the rural people, they are more conscious. You see that these days, when you pay money to the bank and you don't get alert, the following day you find yourself in the bank. So the same way, they are now calling cooperative and say, look, we cannot continue to run on this book something. We have to be technologically inclined. And like I said,
interesting.
By February, we are celebrating 10 years of the Unified Cooperative Platform, which uninterrupted use of it, and it can compete favorably with any core banking software. So the issue is that in running cooperatives today in Nigeria, what has made it easier for us, for those of us at the national level, is the use of technology. And the people are accepting it because it's issue of money. They say where your treasure is, that is where
your money is.
Your mind is. So they want to see their alert also, the way they see their alert in the bank. They want to transact without coming to the cooperative office. So I believe that with this development going on and their acceptability of it, it will go a long way to see that the cooperative run very well in Nigeria. In
terms of collaboration, how effective is your collaboration? You mentioned telcos now. How effective is it with some of these telcos company in regards to the platform that you have launched? Yeah,
like I said earlier, what the developer of the platform we are using is CWG PLC. They came together with MTN, and we believe that whatever they are doing with us is as a result of the collaboration with MTN. So we, like I said earlier, we are working together with the central bank on financial inclusion through the channels committee. And this new year we are going into, our intention is to make sure that the cooperative provide financial services wherever they are. And in doing this is through this collaboration with telcos, with the banks, to use agency banking platforms to make transactions much more easier down to the grassroots.
What about the emergence of the online banking and so many of them? Which is, I think, is more easier for people in rural communities to open those accounts, especially when you don't have the conventional banking system.
Yes, that is the agency banking stuff we are talking about. We are working on that, and it's part of the project we are going into in the new year across Nigeria. All right. What about the middlemen? Are you dealing with the middlemen in this case, or many of them have been in a way demobilized? Yeah, you have to be specific about the type of middlemen you're talking about. Well, you deal with a lot of cooperatives, and there are quite a whole lot of middlemen that I'm sure you deal with. Yes. Are you dealing directly with companies, or there are middlemen that work with you? It's a mixed grade. Where there is need to deal with middlemen, we deal with them. Where there are needs to deal with manufacturers directly, we do that. But what we look at in most cases is to make sure that we are not cheated, to make sure that the goods and services are affordable.
In terms of that, talking about the goods and services are affordable, there is also issue of distribution of surpluses as well. I mean, some cooperatives have said sometimes when there is surpluses, it get to some people and some people don't eventually get. Is there a hierarchy in a way that such distributions are made?
One of the things we intend to do in the new year, precisely before the end of January, in the FCT here, is the Cooperative Roundtable. The director of Cooperative FCT has already issued a notice to that effect.
Okay.
And the reason is because most people come into cooperative, but they don't comply with the regulations.
Rules, yes.
And some of them also hide in their activities. They don't come out. It is only when they start having challenges like that, you see them running to you. If not, before a cooperative is registered, the cooperative have to submit a bylaw, which is like an extraction of the act, to the director who will look at it. And within the bylaw, there are appropriations. When you make money, there are ways you appropriate it. The law says that 25% of it goes into reserve fund in case of any emergency. But that when that reserve fund equals to the total capital of the cooperative, you stop putting money there. Then going further to tell you that from 2.5% up to 5% goes to education savings. That is to say that the cooperative principle of continuous member education will be implemented through making reserve. So this reserve you are making is coming out of your surplus. Then you also do 1% audit and supervision fees to the Department of Cooperatives to take care of those activities. Then honorarium is at the approval of the General House. Most cooperatives will tell you 5% honorarium to their executives since they are not paid. Then I think when you make these deductions within the range of 65% thereabout or 70%, is what is declared as dividend. And once it's declared as dividend, there is a ratio to every contribution of member that the thing is appropriated, and then the member takes his dividend. And this, first of all, have to be approved by the director of cooperatives. Because one of the reasons why we are even calling the January meeting is because some cooperatives in recent time held their election without even informing the director. So then do all these activities without reporting to the director as stipulated in the law. So the director is calling the attention of those cooperatives and say, look, it's not going to be business as usual. Because when it continues like that, we start having issues. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that we still have bad eggs in any system. Those who want to run away from the truth. But I assure you that with the way the cooperatives are going now, especially in the FCT, from this month of January coming, the registration process will be digitized. We have already digitized the practice. So once the two of them meet, we believe that everything will become perfect and become visible for even external people to look at. That's
more like doing something in line of global best practices.
Yes.
All right. But let's look at this part now as we wrap up now. If you're a member of a cooperative and you keep contributing almost every year as a contributor without taking a dime, let's say for 3, 4, 5 years, you're contributing. You've not taken loan or, taking any thing out of cooperative. When it's time for you to take your money, for example, or when you want to, borrow some money out of cooperative, in terms of interest that you have to pay on that, are you going to pay the same interest that people who borrow money from cooperative regularly pay? Let's get understanding of this.
Yes, that you are not taking loan from cooperative does not mean that when you want to take, there should be like a sort of...
You should be giving some preferential treatment.
It's not so. Because others who are taking the loan are the one providing the dividend you've been enjoying. So it's two ways, dividend versus interest. So at any particular time you want to take facility, there is a prescribed interest rate that everybody will pay, which on the principle of equity. Okay? And then dividend also is on the principle of equity. So there is no preferential treatment for you staying too long before you take facility. In fact, we encourage you to take facility on time so that we can make money.
So the more, contributors borrow, the more cooperatives make money.
Yes.
That is what you're saying. In closing now, 2025 is ending. I know you've spoken about your prospects for 2026. In closing, maybe talk to us about where you intend to be by this time next year.
Where we intend to be is to see a functional cooperative development fund. Because the challenges that we are facing today is that the cost of funds are very high in the market. And just like the World Bank identified in their survey that cooperatives are largely depending on their internally generated funds, which is most often not adequate to meet their needs. So we believe that once the Cooperative Development Fund is in place, cooperatives are contributing to it, development partners are also contributing to it, the government is also supporting us, then we will have a robust cooperative financial system. And we believe that that will go a long way to reduce the cost of funds in the market. Because today, as I speak with you, not less than 4 or 5 billion is realized in the FCT every month by cooperatives. And the money still go back to those workers as loan. And that reduces their quest for external funds. Because the rate at which cooperative is giving loan cannot be compared to what is being given
in the bank.
In the banks.
Indeed, I must thank you, Emmanuel Atama, Executive Secretary, CEO, Cooperative Financing Agency of Nigeria. We appreciate your contributions on Business Daily today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right.
See you in the new year.
All right. Can I say Happy New Year to you now? Happy New Year in advance.
Same to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's the wrap on the show today. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Yusuf Akogu.